Hey everyone, what's up? It's Sarah and welcome back to my channel. Okay, in the last video that I recorded, I mentioned that I had so many thoughts about Stan from Love After Lockup, and we have to talk about him. This isn't gonna be like a tea-based video. This is just purely going off of my thoughts on the last episode. I think the last episode of Love After Lockup was titled like Imaginary Boyfriend or something, but we meet Lisa for the first time and we learn a lot about Lisa and a lot about Stan, stuff that really rubbed me the wrong way about him. And I just want to hear your guys' thoughts, so make sure you definitely leave your thoughts as a comment. So Stan had mentioned in earlier episodes, maybe the first episode or the second episode, that there was nothing that he wouldn't try in the bedroom. As the show has gone on, the vibe I got from Stan is he's just a kinky dude, like he likes sex. But there's some things that certainly perplex me about him. So if anyone out there that is watching this video is into like BDSM or that genre, definitely comment your thoughts because, admittedly, that is not something that I have much knowledge of. So my perception is coming from just an outside perspective. My personal vibe is that whatever two consenting adults do in the bedroom is their business, and as long as both parties are consensual and both parties are of age, it's really no one's business what goes on in someone's bedroom, right? That is generally the rule that I live by, or the motto that I live by. But something about Stan, and maybe it was the picture that she showed, and I'll put a screen grab up here of the straitjacket. So this one of the opening scenes opens with Lisa talking about the straitjacket. Okay, not exactly something that gets me horny, but I'm not gonna sit here and pass judgment on someone. But until I saw the straitjacket, it was like hanging from the rafters, and it looked less 50 Shades of Grey and more like something out of a scene from Saw. And I was having trouble, you guys, I'm gonna totally admit, I was having trouble with that one. So obviously Stan is super horned up. There's a clip of him pointing to the boner in the car or saying look what you do to me. And it's clear that sex is the primary thing, if not the only thing that's on his mind. What I find interesting is Lisa many times throughout this episode has said that she is more attracted to women. I'm not sure how exactly she identifies as far as her sexuality goes. But at the end of the day, if she chooses to be with Stan and Stan is aware of her sexual preferences and they make a relationship work, again, two consenting adults behind closed doors, whatever they want to do, right? I don't care. I think if she's upfront and honest about her sexuality and he is upfront and honest, and I think he is being upfront and honest about what he wants out of the relationship, which, okay, you're upfront and honest about it, but I think that you're an asshole a little bit. Again, as long as everyone's showing all their cards and both parties still want to participate, whatever, do you. As far as it goes with Stan being upfront and honest, WeTV actually put a never before seen deleted clip, and I actually found this particularly interesting. Here is Stan talking about how opposites attract.
They say opposites attract, and you want to look at opposites. I've accumulated some wealth where she's never had a job. I'm older, she's younger. Her record is a disaster. My record is immaculate.
So, and I'm going to touch on this at the end, but clearly Stan is viewing this more as a transactional relationship. I think a certain amount of this is transactional for Lisa as well. I don't think genuinely either one of them sees like a lifelong commitment with the other. I don't think that. I think Lisa is actually getting money or financial stability from Stan, and Stan thinks that he's like paying for sexual favors. And I'm gonna touch on that more in just a moment. But where I really like had to pump back and go like, what did he just say? Was in this clip where Lisa receives a call from her son, which she's been in and out of prison. I mean, we saw the grid with all of her mugshots. I don't know how I seem to remember from just the time span, she's never spent more than like a year and a half without getting rearrested or resentenced. So she has admittedly not been a huge part of her children's lives, like physically in their lives. I'm not sure about like, phone correspondence and whatnot. But her 22-year-old son was clearly having like a hard time, a needing your mom moment. And I don't think anyone ever gets a too old for a needing your mom call or hug or in-person visit. But Stan was just so annoyed. Just take a look at this clip.
Oh, Lord, man, this...
Yeah, you're just getting into the best part of your life now if you just can break away from all those problems.
What do you mean? I don't know
Solve
what you
them,
mean.
cure them, and get rid of them.
Okay, well, you're totally clueless.
If you had no kids and no relatives, it would be great.
This raises a ton of questions for me. One, obviously, and he has said as much. And at first, in the first episode, or maybe it was the second episode, where he takes the phone call from Lisa about her brother getting arrested again, he kind of made it seem like he doesn't want Lisa to have anything to do with her family because so many of them are also criminals and they also have records, and one would surmise that they're not the best influence on Lisa. But I actually think it's more of Stan just doesn't want Lisa around anyone. He doesn't want to share. So be it her family or her kids. And I find that really disturbing. Wishing Lisa could just like get rid of the problem it makes me wonder about his relationship with his own kids. Like, what does that relationship look like? And I know it's been teased, like he has said something, like they get in a fight, I think in the next episode or maybe in the coming episodes, where he makes a comment about Lisa's parenting and how he raised his kids better. And would be super curious because we know that his kids aren't supportive of this relationship, but like, was he a present father? Did he view his kids more like kids should be seen but not heard, that type of mentality? Because this was just super gross. I did not like what he said at all. If anything, if Lisa really is the love of your life, one would think that instead of driving to your sex dungeon, that you would be driving her to her wherever her son was. I mean, maybe her son's out of state, I don't know, but one would think that reuniting her with her kids would probably be a top priority. I think it's pretty obvious what Lisa gets out of the relationship, and I think it's pretty obvious what Stan gets out of the relationship. Again, I don't necessarily have anything wrong with it if both people are aware of what the relationship is. And I think for the most part that they both do. Stan, I don't think that he's in the dark about Lisa's sexuality, or, I mean, I could be wrong, but she talks about it pretty openly. It doesn't seem like it's some big, huge secret. And it doesn't seem to like bother him or anything. So it seems like he's fully aware of like where she's at. And then it seems like she's aware of where Stan's at. The thing that troubles me is this idea that Stan seems to think that Lisa should be at like his beck and call. I totally get that vibe. Like her taking the phone call from her son was like a really big inconvenience. Her even getting released from prison like 15 minutes late. He's like, this is eating into my time with Lisa. Like, does he just view her as a commodity and not a person? That's problematic and that's troublesome. It's like, is she allowed to have a life outside of sexually servicing you, or is she just supposed to like be ready and willing whenever you want her down in the basement? That seems hugely troublesome. So anyways, you guys will have to let me know what you think down in the comments. As always, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends and family. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Reality Squad, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Take care, much love.